For those of you still in the room, we'd like to thank you for staying with us till the end. And having said that, we've reached the last panel discussion for this summit on the topic From Posts to Profits, the Power of Food Influencers. In a world where a single post can make or break a brand, food influencers are redefining how we discover, experience, and trust what we can eat. This panel explores the rise of content-driven commerce, how creators are monetizing their platforms, and what it takes for brands to authentically engage with the tastemakers of today's digital food economy. I'd like to request you to please give our panelists a big round of applause as I introduce them and invite them onto the stage. We have with us B.S. Kunal, founder, Afthonia Media; Raunak Kundu, founder, BangaloreFoodies Club and Secret Sauce. And moderating this session is our very own Vasanthi Hariprakash, founder and CEO of Pickle Media. Please give them a big round of applause.
Kunal, it's only you and me. There's no one else in the room anyway. Please take a seat, whichever you wish to. That's a very diplomatic influencer. Give it up for all the food influencers in the house. And the very special person who now joins us on stage. Okay, namaskara elrigu, and particularly those who have lasted the whole day, because I know that too much of a good thing can also be really exhausting. And I really see a group of people who have a halo behind your head, so much of wisdom gained that you can just go and start a food business right away. I see many friends in the room. I see many people who have done remarkable things around food. Now, before I actually toss to the two guests that I have, I want to ask, let's start with an audience poll. Alva, Kunal? Okay, who is a food influencer that you followed and the food turned out to be, okay, take their surname. No, kidding. You really want to tell us a little bit before we actually get to the nitty-gritty of what the panel is, saying how much do food influencers influence your food choices? The mic can come to you. It's the flip. We are starting with an audience poll first and then coming on to the panel. Anyone who just wants to say how they have been inspired by food influencers to actually go and try out a new place? Is there anybody? No, I want the common people in the room to say. Right. So you should be getting the mic. Yeah. So are there anybody who really? Yeah. So can we have a mic for her, or you really want to? How does this work? Like you go actively looking for an influencer in particular, or
No, it was. I was influenced by my daughter, who was influenced by an influencer, to go and check out a new ramen place in Lal Bagh Road. I have actually forgotten the name also. That place had booking 3 months in advance, 3 months
Naru.
Yeah, okay, 3 months waiting, and I'm like, she was flying to US that night, and she got the booking for lunch, and she was so super excited. So I went all the way from Yelahanka to Lal Bagh to eat ramen, and I'm like, for what? She says, Mom, the influencer was talking so good about it, and it's 3 month waiting. I said, you can get this kind of ramen everywhere. But, the way they have made it, the way they have created the hype, the sitting is very limited. They serve you, the kitchen is open. They have got all the things right. But I think over a period, I will not go there again because I was not like super excited after eating. It was not something which is unique and super expensive, and, to wait 3 months. Nowadays, you need instant gratification. I want to eat it today. I want to eat it today. So, yeah, it was something else.
Thanks.
I still didn't get a slot there, and it hurt my wife's ego, so I'm not going to.
Can form a subgroup and thank you. What's your name? I'm Shalini. Yes, you were on the panel. So that kind of a candid, let's say, experience to set the tone for this panel. Raunak, I'm going to come to you. You co-founded a community which has probably got the best of Bangalore's foodies at a time when this word influencer wasn't even around. Let's just have you speaking about the community forming of food lovers, how that came to be, and how did it influence Bangalore's food choices?
Thank you, Vasanthi. Only you can pull off a panel discussion at 6 o'clock with after a whole day's session.
Thank you for the faith.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of both of them actually, both Ghatotkacha and Vasanthi. So Yes, BangaloreFoodies Club. It was founded in 2011. Those of you who don't still follow it, we are largely now active in WhatsApp more than the Facebook community. The Facebook community is just slowly dying its natural death. But yes, recently we did a campaign around Samrat Chalukya. Have you heard of Samrat Chalukya? So Samrat Chalukya is one of the OG restaurants of Bangalore, which eventually closed in just after COVID. Just after COVID it shut. And we relaunched it last week. So I called all the members, the erstwhile members of BangaloreFoodies Club, and most of them turned up. And we had close to 4,000 people on the opening day, followed by around 2,000 people on the subsequent day, Sunday morning it was. And it was a huge success. Now every day there is more than 100 to 200 people who go back from the restaurant without being fed. So that's the power of a community, when people whom you trust, whom you believe, he may not have a very big following, but he is your cousin, he is your colleague, he is your next door neighbor, he is your ex company colleague, some connections where you have a personal touch with that person, a one-to-one relationship. And when he or she writes it, it becomes more valuable, more influential than someone unknown. Now saying that, I right now work with a lot of restaurants, around 30 to 40 restaurants in Bangalore. For Blue Chisel, we do the marketing for these brands. And one thing, when a brand comes to me and tells that we want to do influencer marketing, I tell them that in isolation, if you want to do influencer marketing, it doesn't work.
Okay.
It doesn't work in isolation. But as a part of the holistic marketing strategy, you have influencer marketing as one of the blocks in the puzzle. It might work.
So which are the other pieces?
The other pieces, of course, are like, of course,
Good food to begin with.
yes, that's the core, that's the nucleus of your marketing strategy or reaching out, that good food, good product has to be there. But then there are other puzzles, like a good PR, like a good social media page, like a good website, like a good online reach, a good for food brands. Aggregators are very important, like Zomato, Swiggy. These are very important. Google My Business is very important. So there are so many pieces to this puzzle. Now recently we are working with most of our clients on Relo. Relo is a very popular CRM tool. I'm no way promoting it, but we are working with a platform called Reserve Go. It's again a platform which kind of puts together all the reservations into one platform and then puts it onto the restaurant owner. So basically, if someone thinks that, okay, I will call Ghatotkacha and or Kripala Manna or say Sihikai Chandru, and that one influencer, or I will call 10 influencers, since I don't have the budget to call Kunal, I'll call 10 small Kunals, and we will compensate for that. That will not work. That is bound to fail.
So let me ask the guy himself. So Kunal, for those who can't afford you, there are apparently those who are smaller Kunals, to take from what Raunak is saying. I want to really play the devil's advocate. Now what happens, let's say, if the brand is famous on its own? Let's say a CTR in Malleshwaram or a Veena Stores or a Vidyarthi Bhavan. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ, do they necessarily need an influencer to any further influence, because they are beyond a certain, so are there certain categories like the QSR, in the QSR space, Darshanis are very, very functional and have been serving for years. Can businesses afford to do without you today?
I'll tell you something. First of all, ellargu namaskara, and isn't this a good masala dosa and a filter coffee weather, guys? And yeah, so brands which have names, for example, Vidyarthi Bhavan or CTR or any other place like Chalukya Samrat, Chalukya Samrat again is OG. And when Chalukya Samrat, as it was closed back in the day, as Raunak sir mentioned it, they opened a small place called Mini Samrat in
On
Vasanthi
the
Nagar.
Church Street one?
No, it's that's another Samrat. But they opened another small thing called as Mini Samrat beside near Vasanthi Nagar, basically near that. Beside the Ambedkar Bhavan. So again, by Samrat, I was the first influencer who they had invited and have the privilege. Again, because of Raunak sir, I am the first influencer again to post about them here. So, and I see here also, I met some of my restaurant owners. Like for example, you say there is a new place called Maduru Vade. So that is a place where I found them on the internet and I was like, dude, I want to shoot your place. I want to showcase your place. The video has not come out yet due to technical reasons though. So I went there and I did not take money from them. I'm glad they gave me some Madhur Vades though. And for another brand, for example, Auntie Fungs, yes. So Auntie Fungs is a big brand and Auntie Fungs needed influencer engagement from me. So it's just not that the brand is getting some views, the video is getting some views and likes. It is about the conversions we are talking. So Vidyarthi Bhavan may have its name, other place might have its name. They might not need, the Darshinis might not need. For example, and the bigger fish is again the premium QSRs. They do influencer marketing and much of the crowd is going there. So yeah, everyone would need it in a limited quality. Like for example, my capacity is 1 beer, Raunak might be 2 beers. So I can drink only 1 beer. I am Vidyarthi Bhavan, I will drink only 1 liter of chutney. But Raunak might need two. So it depends on how much you need. That's it.
Yeah, so an already existing brand, which has probably reinvented itself. So that's an example which we saw with the Chalukya Samrat. Now coming to the core of what this topic is that has been given to us, and any of you can really pick this up. So please make us understand that what is the cycle when you said that there are certain missing pieces and there are certain, let's say, types of restaurant. If you really can slice the restaurant category as those which are QSRs, which are takeaways, which are home delivered. Then there are shacks on the street. So how do you as influencers strategize your work? What's your average day like? Like, do you amongst all the divisions that are present in a metro like Bangalore? ನೀವು ಹೇಗೆ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? How do you decide which ones need your attention? One is them approaching, but how do you outreach?
First of all, I mean, as an influencer or from Ghatotkacha's beginning, I have never approached a restaurant that pay me money and I will make a video for you, you will get so much. I have never done that.
Yeah, not necessarily money, but
So
how do you decide to go to a place, Kunal? That's what I'm asking.
See, for example, it depends on different criteria. There are different criteria. For example, Naru Noodle Bar, as Shalini was mentioning earlier. So Naru Noodle Bar doesn't need influencer marketing. They have not called anyone. They played along very well because it was founded by Kavan Kuttappa, who is a very known person. So they don't need it, and so they don't need it. What happens is, we go, as an influencer, I go. My passion is food. And I can proudly say that I have not charged many people. I did not know. When I started this page back in 2018 called Ghatotkacha, I did not know that people will charge for this. And I did not know they would invite me. So I just started it on my own. I wanted to show my food. So it's all, and also nowadays.
Yes, that's a very interesting point, that at the end of the day, when he is showcasing food and the fact that he is able to sample these and present to an audience that is varied and that trusts him, then you are really creating an audience, a kind of a customer base for that business. Now, let's take that more further. And Raunak, so which means to say that in a past where food influencers were not there, what would the company have done to market? We have people, like Chef Naren is here. I mean, there are others. We'll probably also take inputs from the audience to understand this better. So what has been replaced now by that marketing spend or budget to also include this section, this level of marketing that has to, to find newer audiences? So since you have been exposed to a era, what was happening then and what's changed now?
So, taking the example of Naru, because it's in the conversation. So, Naru is only 20, when it started, it was only 20 cover restaurant. So, if it was a 200 cover restaurant, I'm sure Kunal would have been invited to promote that restaurant. Since it is a 20 cover restaurant, it was very easy to fill. It was very easy to, and earlier there was Kaushik was here from Farm Lord. So, I was asking him that, how do you make money from a 18-seater? Is it a 18-seater or a 20-seater restaurant? Approximately. So how do you make money out of that? So, of course, there is a math and he is almost 100% filled always. So it works. It's the APC is different. The rotations are different. There is a different strategy for this kind of small cover restaurants. You cannot have alcohol because alcohol license and all those things gets into a different kind of dynamic. So, coming back to your question, how one OG restaurant is here, that is Karavali.
Karavali, yeah.
Yeah, so of course, one main event or one main thing was the Times of India reviews and Times of India Priyawala's review on Friday would make a big difference.
I remember, yeah.
Apart from that, there was those black tie events and those foodie meetups. So there was soft PR playing all the times. Of course, those some of the OG PR companies still exist in Bangalore. But since print has taken the sheen off, right now, honestly, means Kunal has more following than most of the top 3 Bangalore's newspapers. Yeah. So, why pay a newspaper to put an ad or influence with more than lakhs, pay lakhs of money to get an advertisement or get a review done? So, the needle has shifted from print media to more digital media. But digital media necessarily is not cheap. And as I told initially that if you are putting all your eggs in one basket, that if you think that only influencers alone can take you to the next orbit, that may not happen. If you check all the boxes, like if you have a proper digital marketing strategy, if you are there properly in social media, if you are doing your Google My Business properly, if you are into cloud kitchen business or if you are into delivery, you have to engage heavily with Zomato, Swiggy. That's a completely different game where you have to play the CPC game. Then you have to do your local area or BTL marketing right. So all these things doing right, then only it will help you as a newcomer in the business successful. I was telling, sorry, I'll just take 1 minute.
Sure.
Most of the OG brands, and then there are, I would say that there are 15 OG brands in Bangalore. I was telling that say Vidyarthi Bhavan, say Rameshwaram, CTR, all these Empire, Truffles, Corner House. There are such 20 such brands in Bangalore who are growing month on month 20% or 15%. Whereas most of the smaller brands are struggling. Most of the smaller brands, you name the brand and most of them are struggling.
So I'm going to actually ask that question in a little while. So what really are they doing right, apart from, of course, their legacy, that newer food businesses can emulate? But you had something to add to his point.
See, I'll take you back to 2015. You had patience to read an article. Do you read a full article now? Do you have the attention span? Where back then, again, I'll take you back to 2015. You would watch a 20-minute full video on YouTube. Would you do that now? No, right? The attention span for a person today is only 3 seconds. So you have to catch your audience within 3 seconds. That is the game influencers are playing today. So they give you, so it depends on how good my content is, how good I make content, or how good I make the audience stay for longer time. That is where we come in as
Yeah.
influencers. And as Raunak said, other three things are, one is your social media of the brand page should be epic, and every day there's a new trend. Today one song is trending, to you, the client needs us to make a video on that one, and so many things are there. Today it's all changed from then to now.
But you can create content, but the story has to be good. If the brand doesn't have a great enough story to tell, is it easy to create a story? How tough is an influencer's job today? Let's just really get to the realistic ones. See, I agree with you to the extent that, okay, people's attention spans are diminishing, but this is also the time when OTTs are consuming 1.5 hour episodes at a go and go binge. As a journalist, I can tell you that any good, compelling content will have an audience. I buy your point that when it comes to food, yes, there is probably, your eyes are really, experiencing that rasa of that food before you. But essentially, what happens when brands are weak? How do you tackle them?
Yeah, I have a slightly different take on this now. Now, how Kunal was talking of Auntie Fungs. Auntie Fungs is both a dine-in brand as well as a delivery brand. Now, Auntie Fungs has a 3 competition, I see, or 4 competition. One is their competition, which is some other brand, say Chow Man or any other brand. Then Auntie Fungs is competing against its delivery brand. So the guy who is supposed to dine in, he is deciding whether to order from Auntie Fungs or whether to go into the restaurant. Well, how much traffic is there to go to that restaurant? So as soon as the Auntie Fungs delivery wins, Auntie Fungs owner loses 50% to Zomato Swiggy. This is Auntie Fungs delivery brand wins over the dine-in brand. Now another player is there, that is Zepto or Blinkit, where there is a combo mix for Thai curry, which you can buy it in 5 minutes, and your daughter or your wife wants to cook Thai curry at home. So Auntie Fungs loses there also. So basically now the whole concept of eating a Thai curry from your favorite brand has 4 different competition. One is the real competition, one is the delivery unit, one is the dine-in unit, and one is this quick commerce. So I am telling most of my clients that today quick commerce is hitting the business very badly.
For sure.
Yes. And talk of the OG brands. OG brands, of course, has a story to tell. But OG brands necessarily have not invested in the product, but they remain true to the product. Say a Empire ghee rice. Now, how complicated a ghee rice is. At the end of the day, it is ghee rice. But people go wow over ghee rice. Or say truffles burger. Now, I'm not putting down truffles burger. People love it. But they have stayed true to the burger. And today, it's a huge business. Means I don't want to state numbers. Restaurant owners knows the numbers. But it has become an OG brand. Or say a corner house Death by Chocolate. Is it a great product? Yes, it is a great product, but it has stayed true to the standards of a Death by Chocolate. What they were serving in when we were in college, 20 years back or 25 years back, now also they are serving the same Death by Chocolate. So they have stayed true to their product.
So, in the midst of what you have put out so meticulously, Raunak, it's really quite eye-opening, or rather we realize that indeed this is there are इतने सारे दुश्मन और ये एक brand उसको जीतता हुआ कैसे आगे आएगा kind of scenario. Then in this multiple choice environment, then what is the influencer edge that's going to tip that decision from my point to an Auntie Fungs or any OG brand? How is the influencer stepping in this last mile?
Okay, So I'll tell you, there are three things for a restaurant. First thing is their social media game. It's just not about the influencers' content. The content on social media of the brand should be absolutely good. So new trends like, for example, UGC, user generated content. So even I own a media agency, and we usually do more of user generative content. For example, one of my client is IDC Kitchen. So in IDC Kitchen, what we do is it's just whatever it says, idli, dosa, coffee, guys. And how many times should I cinematically show idli, dosa, coffee, the making of rice bath? No. I want to do something else. See, for example, we take inspiration from other places also. So one of the videos I can say is, I blindfolded one of our customers, and I was like, smell the dosa and tell me what it is, I'm going to shoot you. So this is the kind of content that
Innovation within
innovation.
content.
And even the influencer has a lot of innovation. Today, without a cinematographer or a team, I don't think so influencer is doing anything. And influencer also needs AI too. Nowadays, AI is needed, ChatGPT is needed. I know many influencers who could not talk. I mean, not influencers. I don't want to name names because I have to work with them again. So these are the people, they just give ChatGPT prompts and get a script. And how to get the script, and you have to have lot of things in your mind, and you don't know what Instagram algorithm, YouTube algorithm, or whatever the algorithm is doing well. So influencers help, that is one bit. So that is where your influencers help. Your video will be shared. If your first 3 seconds of the video is good, your video is being shared. And that is when people talk about you. So this is actually a mind game. So when I am sending a reel to my friend who likes biryani, I'm like, dude, there's a new brand called some Bagara biryani. Okay, I'm gonna eat that tonight. So I'm sending a reel to them. And he thinks about it. He has that in his mind. And the way many other competitions also have that in my mind. So how good my reel is, how good their reel is. I mean, the third step again is the digital marketing. How am I doing my meta ads?
Right.
How am I doing my targeted ads? All these things, these are the 3 steps which a restaurant has to take care.
So no wonder the influencer marketing industry, by data that's being put out, is like about 10,700 crore rupees. I mean, we are not talking only about the food, but in general, by 2027, as even the Economic Times had reported. So one of the flip side of this is that there are authentic influencers, and then there are those who, as news reported, Aruna Diga had mentioned, as he was quoted in the Vidyarthi Bhavan, that they just came to shoot pictures, they probably had a free lunch and left, and nobody quite knew who these influencers were. And of course, this is happening across the board, unethical practices. How in your, let's say, league of authentic food influencers are you curbing those fakes? Or who is going to rate the rater? What is the regulation space looking like?
See, according to me, I don't think there is a fake influencer. There is today, even if you have 1,000 followers, say 1,000 followers, if I invite you to a restaurant which is 5 kilometers or 10 kilometers away from your house, you have to go there. Traveling in Bangalore from point A to point B takes anywhere between 30 minutes to 45 minutes. So going and coming back 1.5 hours. Fanciest of restaurant. Then you have to eat there, dine there, shoot there, come back home, edit that content.
Sir, eating cold food. That is one of our pains.
Eating what
Eating
food?
cold food.
Cold food.
Because we have to feed our cameras first. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so edit that food and then post it. Half a day easily goes into creating one good reel.
But this is about the good guys. I'm
No,
talking
no.
about the other thing,
No,
Raunak. It's like,
anybody,
you know,
anybody,
people-
Kunal, half a day, 5 to 6 hours is needed to create a content.
Actually, it takes more time, sir. It takes more time.
More-
But if
more
you
than
are-
5 to 6
more than
hours.
See, it's just
So-
it just doesn't stop at shooting. We have to edit. We have to post process it. So many things. Are there.
Yeah.
No, but then are you saying that those people who indulge in unethical practice, how are we going to
if
identify
they have
them?
1 million follower or they have 1,000 follower,
this is
the
not a-
process is same.
I got that,
See,
Raunak.
I
but
get that. So what
Yeah,
you're telling
you
is
understand
there are
my question is not about
there are
followers.
people who are faking as influencers. How do we curb them?
Exactly.
So what we can do is you ask their page. What is their page? Dikhao tujhe. Ask them. That is what many people do, right?
No, then you work with agencies like us.
Yeah, better.
There you go. Yeah.
We regulate it.
See, this panel is also about really enabling the food influencer business. But I really want
So Adukale is one of our clients. And as I was telling that when we were designing the campaign for Adukale, we had a we spent a lot of time in the design board. Whom to call, where to call. Like we called Kunal. Now we called Kunal in a store in Adukale in Baswangudi, just before Krishna Janmashtami. So there was a lot of planning. It's not like suddenly one morning we called Kunal and started
I
shooting.
get that part. I really get the kind of planning that's going on.
Lot of planning, lot of shortlisting, lot of whom to send, why to send. We send a gift box to Nandita here at her home in Whitefield. We didn't call her because we wanted to shoot at her home with the Adukale products. So there is I don't know if anyone follows Saffron Trail, Nandita Iyer's page.
She also gives out a lot of health-related
Yes.
information on that.
So there was so influencer campaign is not like calling a bunch of
So you are saying that there is also a curation of which influencers to call.
can impact,
Yes.
how to shoot it,
And what really
where to
aligns
shoot-
with that.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
So before we actually go towards the end of this, we just, I can see the clock ticking. Who are the foodpreneurs in the hall if we have, can we actually have your voices? What your pain points are or at least what your concerns or questions may be. You
I
can,
too have invested in a restaurant. Okay.
yeah, we will come to that. So a quick round. Are there mics? You can probably give these. A quick line identifying yourself, probably the name of your business and your question.
Sure. Hi, good evening. My name is Amand Walia, and we've just launched a platform and a service for home food and home chefs. And we've just been in the market for about 6 weeks now. So my question is, there's a deluge of information and content online. It's just crazy, right? And everyone's an influencer. Every second person is an influencer. A lot of them are fake, a lot of them are real. The question is, also speaking to one of the earlier points of how do startups go and get money? How do you go to banks? Because banks say, oh, you're a startup, but you need to be there for 3 years at least. You need to have revenue, you need to show profit.
Yeah, so I would
right?
like you to be very
Right,
pointed
right.
about what's the food influencer bit there.
I'm getting there, right? So how do startups actually find influencers and they know what they're authentic? We definitely can't afford, Kunal and Raunak's companies.
Yeah,
They
very
can't
valid
afford
one.
me.
So what are the sort of parameters? So please remember that question. I'd like to pass the mic to anybody else who's got the question so that we'll optimize time. Yes. Yeah, in the middle table. Yes.
Hi, my name is Sarabjit. I'm from Slurp Culinary Academy, also run Slurp Cooking Studio. Slurp as a brand is about 12 years old now. And when we started back in 2013, 2014, Facebook was still coming up. And that time there was no market of influencing and things like that. We pretty much did everything ourselves. And now we've started a Slurp Culinary Academy where we teach people how to cook and get into academics and things like that. We've been doing a lot of research to understand how this influencing marketing works. And as he said, the price tag which comes with these influencers, how do we gauge this? We have an influencer who says, I will take 1.5 lakhs for one post. We will have an influencer who says, I will take 10,000 for one story. So how do we gauge that bit? And second bit is this a bubble? Is this going to burst? Okay. Why have we forgotten, or why aren't we making a decision to go taste something, and why are we relying on somebody else's thing? And
That's a deeper question.
And when an F&B outlet opens and a big influencer goes to that, and thousands of people go to that place in the following week, and you will see this is a trend. That place business starts going down because the influencer marketing rubs off in a week's time. Doesn't stay there forever. So why is influencing marketing taking the stage. Like people open businesses saying that, okay, I'll open my business. I will call X influencer. He will have 10,000 people following him, following himself, and then the
Yeah.
business sort of run.
Yeah. Thanks,
So
thanks for
how
bringing
do
this
you
up.
sort of as you said, how do you regulate this? Is there a regulation? How do I know that is this going to go forever? Is it going to shut?
Is that
Things like that.
bubble going to burst? Thank you. Thank you for placing that.
Thank you.
The third and final question in this round.
Hi, I'm Charles, and I'm running a company called Chill Mill Foods. It's a healthy snacking company.
Can you
So,
repeat the name of the company?
Chill Mill Foods.
Got it.
We are the India's first millet wafer. But anyways, in the last 3-4 years, I've been seeing that mostly even better than going with celebrity influencers, it's better to go with the micro influencers, right? Like. We definitely know for a fact that celebrity influencers have more reach, but then why is it working out with micro influencers more than the celebrity influencers? That's my question.
Okay. So I am guessing, okay, after the answers come in, if we have time, we'll come to you, sir. Yes. So would you like to take up quick
I'll
answers
take the
for?
second and third question. So, why does the influencer marketing not last long? It was your question. So, if somebody is charging you 1.5 lakh, it's definitely not me for one post, and even the 10,000 rupees per story, no. So it depends on what is the following of the certain person, what is the following of the certain influencer based on their niche. It depends on the niche. For example, I will happily go do a vlog on a biryani place. The same player, the same thing. And for example, one of the OG PRs had termed me as Idli Dosa blogger at one point of time. But today they beg me to come to their events. That's a different question. So the thing is, it doesn't last because the attention span of people are, for example, if the print media, you say you invest in print media today, will it last longer? No, there is no guarantee for anything. I mean, there will be a buzz. You have to keep doing it in certain amount of certain doses. That's it. That's the thing. You have to keep doing it in a certain amount of dosage, depending on your budget. If you have 10,000 rupees, some influencer will come. You might have certain impact. And if you have 1 lakh rupees, you can call 5 influencers. So there will be a certain
That's
impact.
sort of a valid thing that he had placed. That I know of a business that had Rocky and Mayur visiting them, and even now that's the thing that is on their restaurant in Indiranagar, Bangalore.
One second,
which
sorry, yeah. Also, it depends on the restaurant. If it's good enough, people, with the word of mouth, it goes on. There would be no need of influencer marketing. Sorry.
So the question on that he had, that's how do you gauge that, as a small business who can't probably afford all that we have been speaking about, hearing from you? What's the parameter?
First thing is that you have to have a holistic marketing budget. If you are, either you don't market or you go the full throttle. Influencer marketing cannot be 100% of your marketing strategy. If you have 1 lakh rupees to market, first of all, 1 lakh rupees to market is it's better not to market at all. Because today social media is like a hot pan. Some people say, can we call 10 influencers please? But we don't want to pay them, just call them for barter. I said, better don't waste money, sir. Let's not waste money. It's a hot pan. Instagram is a hot pan. A drop of water will just evaporate. So either you do it properly or you don't do it. So we launched a burger brand called Louis Burger. It's from Zorawar Kalra's brand. We did 1,000 plus, not only influencers, 1,000 plus socialites and influencers in 1 month. So every day there were more than 30 plus deliveries going out. And it's a delivery, and of course he wrote me a blank check. He said just go all out and reach as many people as you can.
So Raunak, I think, what you're trying to say is that it has to be an integrated approach and it
Yes.
can't just be a piecemeal. Because we have...
And if you have a very tiny budget, don't do it.
So the strength of the food, and more than the food, the service has to certainly keep that piece up and draw on the strength of word of mouth. But I want to give the mic finally to Naren. from your experience, not just being part of, let's say, Karavali as we know it today, but in the way it's grown, what has really worked to keep a brand high up there continuously? And what is your advice really for anybody starting in the food space? On a reality check,
Truly,
does honest food stand in can today's business survive only with honest food, Naren? Is my question.
we have been here for the last 35 because of that.
No, I know. Obviously, there's a reason why you're celebrated. The final question that we are coming to, when there is a need for this integrated marketing strategy, people from smaller businesses who are saying about the challenges that they face, that's the...
Okay, see.
Thanks so much. I think honesty, authenticity, coupled with patience, and probably great content, innovation, and being people who eat your food being its greatest ambassadors is probably the long-term recipe for success. In between the posts to the profits. Thank you so much for being a great audience, and thanks, Ty, for giving us this chance to share the story of food space.
All right, everyone, please give them a huge round of applause for an absolutely brilliant finish to this summit. Kunal, Raunak, I have one last question. It's been a long day. I'm hungry. Where do I have dinner tonight? On that note, I'd like to invite Murlidhar Suryanarayan to please come up on stage, board member Thai Bangalore, and present our final panelists with a small token of appreciation on behalf of Thai. Thank you, Kunal. We'd like to thank Vasanthi for moderating that session brilliantly, as always. And we'd like to thank Raunak as well. Thank you once again.